Mumbai-Pune Expressway. People say it's a good road to speed up. I had just taken a new car, a Verna 4S Fluidic, 1,500 cubic centimeters, was anxiously waiting for an opportunity to check the drive pickup. That evening, at about 9:30 p.m., I got a call from a close friend in Pune. Some urgent business matter had come up. Had to meet him up by the next day at 7 a.m. Decided to start then only. Why delay? So, started up from Mumbai at about 11:30 p.m. or so, in the night. Took the Eastern Freeway and since the road was free at night, reached Mumbai-Pune Expressway by midnight. It was a Thursday, a weekday. The highway was empty. Mid-April. Summer was almost there. I pushed the window glasses down. Amped up music. Hardly any other vehicles were on road. It was about 12:30 a.m. I found Verna Fluidic could accelerate to 180 km/h without much ado. Feeling contented, I glided on. Maybe I just blinked off for a moment. Heard a thud at front wheels. I woke up with a jolt. Shit, did I slept off at the wheels? For split seconds, maybe. Did I hit something? I pulled over. And got the flashlight out. Looked around on the road. No sign of anything living or moving. Thank God. Saved, time 01:15. It was some patch of the road near ANNABELLE. Started driving. Swearing never ever to sleep at the wheel. Reached Pune by 2 a.m. Slept at friend's place. Finished work by morning. And started to leave. But my friend and his wife insisted that I stay for the day and just chill with them. I could not refuse. But I got weary by evening, much work pending at Mumbai, and asked for permission. Friend said, okay. But not before we see our old friend Johnny. He has been wanting to see you since ages. I had to stay back. Johnny was a good old friend. He arrived quite late in the evening. We met up and chatted. By the time I looked at my cell phone, it was 12 a.m. Time had just flown in the company of friends. What the heck? Midnight again. I must push off. Not to stay for long. Friend and his wife came down to bid farewell. I was a bit tipsy. They were trying to keep me back. But I decided to drive on. Lots of work in office tomorrow. I started to leave. I got shock of my life when I entered into the car and took to the driving seat. There was small toy hanging near the windshield of the car. A weird toy. I never put it up there. Who else did? The keys of the car were with me all day. I guessed, my friend's kids might have hung it up there in prank. But both the kids denied and friend and his wife said they had never seen the toy around. Dude, it's a car hanging doll, it's cute. My friend said. So, I ignored it. But I did not find the toy cute by any measure. It was eerie. Said bye-bye to friend and started to drive. By 12:15 midnight, I touched Express Highway again, from Pune end. The toy was odd, inexplicable. I kept on looking at it. The dim light from the dashboard made it look real. Shit, man. I said to myself, it's just a doll, with the face of a girl. But there was something unnatural about it. Leave it here, I thought. Maybe the Jack Daniels is playing my mind. Got to concentrate on the road. I jacked up the music volume. Rolled up glasses. The road was free and deserted as usual. Sped up. Not a single vehicle that I crossed or which overtook me. Only trucks and trailers crossing from the opposite side were changes in the otherwise monotonous drive. I could hear the engine hum. Glanced at the speedometer, 180. Nice. Time 1:15. Fine. A thud on the front wheel. The engine knocked several times. Speed came down to 0. What on earth? I got down. Switched the flashlight on. Oh shit. Same place as last night. What the hell is out here? And the same sound as last night. It was bewildering. I pulled over on the left. The headlights went out too. Is the car phobic to this spot? Took the flashlight in hand. Looked around for anything moving or living. Deja vu. I have been through all these last night. Exactly same things. Anyway, I got inside the car. Turned the keys hoping for the worst. Thankfully, the engine revved up. Lights came up. Something had changed inside the car. I looked up. Oh, where is the girl toy which was hanging? Did it fall off? What's going on Earth? Anyway. Good riddance. Started on the road again. It was an eventless journey. Reached Mumbai by 2:30 a.m. Parked the car. Reached flat, picked up the last day's noon edition newspaper from doorstep. Got inside the flat, found the lights to be on. I distinctly remembered having putting them off before I went out the other night. Well, maybe I remembered wrong. As I entered inside, found the flat was cold. In summer. Had I left the AC on? No. It wasn't. And there was the faint scent of some unknown perfume in the house. It was all so odd, so unexplainable. Just glanced at the newspaper. Headlines read: Hit and run cases on rise. Girl killed in a hit-and-run incident near ANNABELLE at midnight. No one has been apprehended yet. Cold sweat. I started to tremble and collapsed on the bed. Switched on the AC, pulled up the blanket. As I turned side, I saw the car hanging girl doll was lying there by my side, staring at me, as if trying to ask something. You are lying in your bed. The dull whirring of your air conditioner is the only thing separating you from total silence. You know, that particular silence that is so heavy and thick, it's almost the equivalent of a loud noise itself. The kind of silence where you could hear a pin drop 3 rooms away. The kind of silence that fills your ears with the sound of your own heartbeat, as your ear presses against your pillow. That kind of silence. The dull whirring is the only noise you can hear, a noise that typically goes unnoticed, until it is the only noise present. It's comforting, whether you realize it or not. A sort of white noise. But suddenly, your room is back at the temperature specified on the thermostat, and the whirring comes to a stop, as the vent makes a dull clang. To your misfortune, you are not yet asleep, and the silence sets in. You should be comforted by the knowledge that you could hear anything and everything in your surroundings, making up for the lack of vision provided by the darkness. But you aren't. It's this very environment that sets you on edge, causes your heart to beat a bit faster, makes your body tense without explanation, and makes you aware when you are not alone. But you are alone, right? You've been laying there with your eyes closed for almost 15 minutes now, and you made sure everything was normal in your room before you turned off the light. You're a smart one. All those Facebook quizzes you took have just reinforced what you already know. If you were in a horror movie, you'd survive until the end. You've even made a carefully laid out plan of what you would do in any of the situations you've read about in creepypastas. But that stuff is just nonsense anyway, right? You aren't scared. Or, at least, that's what you keep telling yourself. But wait, what was that? Was that the rustling of fabric? You didn't shift in your bed, or make any movement. Did you make that noise? No, you couldn't have. You're paralyzed in your bed, stiff with an unease that was not present until these very moments. You must have imagined it, you must have. You roll over to face the wall. Out of sight, out of mind. If there's something in the room with you, it will just have to accept that you are much too tired to deal with it at the moment. You're still stricken with uneasiness, as you hear rustling again. This time, the rustling is accompanied by a soft thud on the ground. Your heart seizes in your chest. Did you really just hear that? No, you've just gotten yourself worked up about nothing. You really should stop playing horror survival games so late at night, it's messing with your brain. You're a rational person, so stop acting so childish and just fall asleep already. You close your eyes tightly, silently hoping sleep would whisk you away soon. You're practically begging for the safety of the non-existent dream world of your own creation. You're running away in a sense, but there's nothing there, right? You're just tired. I know, I know. As your eyes are clenched tightly shut, you become aware that no matter how much you want to, you can no longer move your arms and legs. Come on now, are you really letting this get to you? What are you? 12 years old? Suck it up and fall asleep already. Now, more tense than ever, that unnerving sound echoes across the room again. The rustling of fabric, followed by a soft thud on the ground. Unwittingly, you're holding your breath now, eyes shut as tightly as possible. You have the childish urge to pull the blanket over your head. You're imagining it all. It's all in your head. I thought you were better than this. Your heart is pounding loudly in your ears now, but not loudly enough to drown out the now repetitive sound approaching from across the room. What's that rustling? Maybe you left some paper on the ground. That has to be it. And that thumping? Probably the cat, or the dog, or something. They probably ran in when you weren't looking before you closed your door. Yeah, you're just paranoid. The noise is now within a foot of your bed, and with your back to it, you don't dare turn around to investigate. Not that it'd do much good, the only light in your room is the dull glow of your cell phone on the nightstand next to you. You plugged it in before you crawled into bed, remember? But you don't dare turn around and look. There's nothing there, anyway. Your heart seizes in your chest. Did you really just hear that? No, you've just gotten yourself worked up about nothing. You really should stop playing horror survival games so late at night, it's messing with your brain. You're a rational person, so stop acting so childish and just fall asleep already. You close your eyes tightly, silently hoping sleep would whisk you away soon. You're practically begging for the safety of the non-existent dream world of your own creation. You're running away in a sense, but there's nothing there, right? You're just tired. I know, I know. As your eyes are clenched tightly shut, you become aware that no matter how much you want to, you can no longer move your arms and legs. Come on now, are you really letting this get to you? What are you? 12 years old? Suck it up and fall asleep already. Now, more tense than ever, that unnerving sound echoes across the room again. The rustling of fabric, followed by a soft thud on the ground. Unwittingly, you're holding your breath now, eyes shut as tightly as possible. You have the childish urge to pull the blanket over your head. You're imagining it all. It's all in your head. I thought you were better than this. Your heart is pounding loudly in your ears now, but not loudly enough to drown out the now repetitive sound approaching from across the room. What's that rustling? Maybe you left some paper on the ground. That has to be it. And that thumping? Probably the cat, or the dog, or something. They probably ran in when you weren't looking before you closed your door. Yeah, you're just paranoid. The noise is now within a foot of your bed, and with your back to it, you don't dare turn around to investigate. Not that it'd do much good, the only light in your room is the dull glow of your cell phone on the nightstand next to you. You plugged it in before you crawled into bed, remember? But you don't dare turn around and look. There's nothing there, anyway. A hiker decided to go on a hike by himself. Something he was not very used to. The whole day was normal. Trees and bushes engulfed his surroundings. He enjoyed being outdoors in the mountains. Nothing seemed strange to him, that was until he was making his way back to his car. He figured an 8-hour hike was good enough. The sky was already getting dark and he needed to get back, fast. What was odd was how much he didn't recognize the trail back. He began to panic. Night had already taken over and all he had was a flashlight and no clue on how to get back. He knew it was already too late and too dangerous to keep going through the perilous forest. He began to worry that he would have no shelter for the night when almost luckily enough, he stumbled across a broken-down cabin. It was dark, and seemed like no one had visited it in years, but he knew it was the only place where he could rest until daylight, especially since his flashlight was running out of battery. He knocked on the door a few times but no one answered, so he let himself in where strangely enough, a perfect bed fitted for one person awaited him in the center. He knew that if the owner came back he could explain himself, he was sure that the owner wouldn't mind, or was even probably dead. So he went ahead and got himself comfortable in bed. As he tried to sleep, he couldn't ignore the collection of paintings around the room, portraits of strange-looking people all peering at him, each wearing a smile that sent chills up his spine. Not too long after his exhaustion from the hike got the best of him and he was able to ignore the faces. The next morning he got up early and was shocked to see that there were no paintings around the room, but windows.